She's late. Why is Corey? We're gonna make her wait to come up on stage too, bro. I'm not a people pleaser. We're talking about people pleasing. I'm not gonna people please you, Corey. You are late. I'm mad. I have boundaries, and I'm gonna make you wait. And I have vengeance. I have revenge. Let's invite her up.
That's
Woo,
amazing.
guys, welcome. Where's everybody from? Give me your city and state, please.
Yeah, you can be mad. It's all right. It's all right.
Is that
I
right?
had six. I am all relaxed and just waiting for 6 o'clock. And no, you are 5 o'clock my time. So I'm still catching my breath. Okay, so
All
give me
right,
a
cool,
second.
cool. All right,
Carry on
everybody.
with your
Just relax.
foreskin conversation. I'll jump in
Oh
there in a
my
second.
God, dude. So
Hashtag Natty.
embarrassing. Oh man, that was really an amazing. That was the funniest conversation, I think, Cisco, for real.
Yeah. And he's a comedian too, so he just totally rode the wave. So
So, Corey, how are you?
I'm
Whew.
here. I'm
Corey,
good.
do you have
What's
any
up?
like nervous regulation stuff now so we can all calm down because we're all coming in with different energies?
We
Let's
sure
sync
are.
let's sync up the vibes. You got any like quick breathing thing or something for us?
Well, I mean, certainly for myself, what I'm doing, even as I'm talking to you, is
Okay.
I'm just arriving in my body and I'm letting myself be here instead of
Mm.
in the run to get here. So I'm just feeling
Hmm.
like my legs on the chair. I'm feeling that my breath is here. I'm seeing you guys on the screen. So really what I'm doing is just presencing myself and being here in what's going on in my body. So my skin's a little buzzy. I'm a little sweaty from running in here. But I'm here. And I think that's the biggest thing is just arriving to myself so that I can arrive fully with you.
And what is a buzzy skin? What is a buzzy skin? Your
I
skin
know.
is
Is that
buzzing?
weird? So for me, I know when I feel like electric, I almost feel like electric,
Oh, okay.
right? Like this sort
Yeah.
of
I
electricity
say
that's
goosebumps. We say goosebumps, but you're
sure.
feeling
Well,
that,
these
huh?
aren't even
Mm.
that. This is more like almost okay. So I don't know if you drink coffee, but if you have too much coffee, how you can
Okay.
feel kind of like that.
No, I don't know that feeling.
You don't know that feeling. Okay.
I drink one cup of coffee every day.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
don't.
Well, try and have three, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Is that
I,
buzzy feel?
Yeah. So it's like my skin is doing that. It's almost like my skin is just doing that, but it's settling. It's settling. So
You know
I'm
what?
good.
Like, it's so interesting the way you describe it as well, Corey, because like I feel like, and we've talked about this before when we talked in the past. Corey and I have
Yeah.
talked in the past,
Yeah.
and you said that you're very like sensitive because of your upbringing, and that's what one of the things about being a people pleaser. You become
Yes. Sir.
super sensitive, right? So like even the way you're, I just said it's goosebumps. Right, but
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, it's buskin." Oh, okay, that's funny way to call goosebumps. No, but it's
Yeah.
different than goosebumps, right,
It
Cisco?
is.
That's
Yeah.
interesting, isn't it? Right, like that. That's the Vibe Samurai stuff. I like playing with that kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it just, well, it's so funny because when you talk about that, like that sensitivity, and especially rooted in my childhood, really the sensitivity was around everything around me.
Mm,
And so what you just saw was based on the work that I've done, the level of sensitivity that I have inside myself now. So in the past, I would have shown up here and all my attention would have been on you guys and what you were thinking, and then all the people who might be watching it. My attention would have been over there and like, oh my God, what do they think of me? How do I, right? And instead, from the work that I've been doing, arriving was about arriving here first so that I could arrive. So then I could describe to you what was going on inside of me. But I would say before I've done some of my work, I wouldn't have been able to tell you because I would have just been so all up in your business.
you think so? But you don't think you would have answered? You would have said, "Oh, I would said, Corey, how are you feeling? Oh, I feel buzz in my skin. Oh, but you know, like, wouldn't that conversation have happened? You're saying you would have not been able to even.
No, darling, no. I would have said, I'm good. I'm so good. How are you? And I, right? Like I would have performed. I would have performed. Everything's fine.
Ooh, that's him.
mm,
Oh, that's Vibe Sesh right there, bro. This is what we're trying to do with the vibes, right? That non-performance, right, Cisco? What do you think about it, though?
yeah, I love the sensitive, like myself, like I struggle with people pleasing, not having that sensitivity for myself. And it's projected outwards at all times. That's very interesting.
Yeah. And so, I mean, one of the things that I've kind of been experimenting with is, people pleasing for
Mm.
me has been an indirect way of taking care of myself. So in other words,
Mm.
if I know what's going on over there in the field out there, it's the way that I know how to take care of myself. And then if I make everything okay out there, it's my way of making everything okay in here. So there's this sort of like, what I'm going for is to feel okay. But I think that in order to
Mm.
feel okay, I have to get you to feel okay. And so it's
Mm.
like indirect. And now I'm not acting in the place where I really have agency.
Damn. Damn. Okay, we're gonna see how we got to this right here.
Yes,
Wow,
yes.
unbelievable.
Oh
And by
my
the way,
God.
Cisco, you're blowing Cisco's mind, Corey.
Sorry.
All right, damn.
You and
He's
me,
not,
Cisco, this is our talk.
bro. He's not even high. That's the crazy thing.
Hello,
Usually,
Benjamin.
oh, you
I'm
got
not high
to.
either, Cisco. You and I could be not high together. We'll let you
But
represent.
here's the thing, Corey. We've had like a lot of amazing guests, right? And everybody like they've been helping Cisco. He's the most perfect guinea pig because he has so many problems that we gotta teach him walking meditation. We gotta help him with his people pleasing, which we haven't had an expert like you in yet. So we got a good guinea pig here, right here, because he's
Sweet.
had issue.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, but Corey, I wanted to ask you a question. Let me a quote from yours, okay? I go through
Okay,
your
what you got?
stuff. I got some prep work that I do. I check out your
Yeah, I
website
like
and
it.
everything. Okay. So I want to talk about this first because I think this is a good place to start. So you said people pleasers are some of, Cisco, listen to this. People pleasers are some of the most quietly controlling people in the room. Make the case, Corey.
Well, I kind of started it when I said just a minute ago that if you have to be okay in order for me to feel okay, then I need to get really busy with making you okay. And so I'm going to spend a lot of effort over
Mm-hmm.
there trying to make everybody okay. And so I'm like trying to control you so that you behave in a way where I feel safe. I'm going
Isn't
to
that
control this,
crazy? The people
right?
That's
pleaser.
manipulation right there.
They're the best manipulators, bro. If you
They
Oh.
think
don't mean
about it.
to.
Ah.
We don't mean to. Like, right? Like, it's
That's
not, we don't mean to.
unconscious.
It's unconscious. Oh
It
my God.
is. It is.
Mm.
Well, and it feels, I mean, who isn't like, I want to help you be okay? Isn't that a nice, I mean, that's
Right.
nice,
That's
right?
super nice.
It's
Wow.
super
That's
nice.
so. Uh-huh.
But the idea that it's because unless you're okay, I'm not.
Mm.
That's a big deal. That's hard because now your okayedness means something to me. And it's sort of
Right.
like now you're beholden to, like, now I'm invested.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
No, but manipulation is too hard of a word. But I like thinking in
It
terms
is
of
too
like,
hard. It is.
yeah. But I like thinking in terms of like how certain trauma or bad
Yeah.
events kind of turn into good things, superpowers, right? So like,
Yeah.
so for me, my extreme introversion made me focus on one-on-one. I was able to connect with people on a deep level on a one-on-one instead of a group, and blah blah blah. And then I did coaching, and then now I'm the Vibe Samurai, right?
Yeah.
And talking to people on Vibe Sesh on at this level, right, was just because of my introversion, right? So like the people
Mm-hmm.
pleasing, there it's almost like if you know, it's almost like if you know you have that power, you can use that because you know how to control people. You understand people on a certain level where they can be controlled. But you know what I mean? Like having that positive influence. I don't know. I'm trying to think like how you
Yeah,
think about
well, I mean, I think what you're talking about is impact, right? That we have the ability to impact people around
it.
us. And typically, and I mean, honestly, a lot of people pleasing, the way we're trying to impact each other isn't really bad for them necessarily. In other words, I just want you to be a better person. I want you to heal. I want you to be kinder, whole. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking anything that's like, that wouldn't also serve the other person generally, right? So I'm
Hmm.
asking for like this higher level, but it's sort of like I'm asking for it because I need it, because I need you to
Hmm.
be that way. But you were
Mm.
talking about the superpower, and certainly, I mean, people pleasers are some of the most empathetic, generous, like kind, like
Mm.
they're open-hearted, open-minded. Like there is this incredible superpower that comes with it. That
Mm.
that the only reason it turns is because we leave ourselves. So in other words, it becomes my default and I take it to everyone else but myself.
So self-abandonment, what you call self-abandonment.
That's what we're doing because all these things I just told you, empathy, compassion, open-mindedness, adaptability, those are all really positive, healthy traits. They only become unhealthy when we sort of we don't include ourselves in those things and we just provide it for everyone else around us.
How much of this realization came from you observing your clients over the years, or you recognizing it in yourself?
Most of the time I see it myself first and then I start seeing it around, right? Like I recognize something like, oh, like I noticed that I need you to behave differently in order for me to feel okay. So like, wow, look at how tricky I am. Look, I'll perform. I'll do
Oh,
this. Right. Like I just started noticing how I was showing up and I was like, oof, this is not. And then I started seeing it in my clients too. And so it's sort of like, it's just getting real, right? This is all about you, Vibe Samurai, right? Like getting real
mm,
with yourself. And so
mm,
sometimes I had to get real with like, what really are my intentions here? What am I trying to create here? And, I really love Michael Singer, and he talks a lot about everyone's just
mm,
trying to be okay. Everyone just wants to be
mm,
okay all the time. I just want to be okay.
mm,
But if it has to be you, giving me my okayness, I don't have agency. I've lost touch with myself. And now I'm acting in the world that is not mine to act in.
mm.
Hmm.
What do you think, Cisco?
Yeah, I would ask, like, where does someone begin with self-validation if it's always just been external to them?
I know, right? It's interesting for me. Like I've noticed that, I have a needy part of myself, like where I feel really needy for acceptance, love, validation. And I think that's actually reasonable. I think that humans have a need for those things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The problem is that I'm going seeking it as a people pleaser. I'm going seeking it from a place of starvation. Right.
Mm,
So I'm right. As opposed to, it's okay for me to feel needy. I did this. Okay. I'm going to divert a little bit. I did this dance thing this weekend, and
mm-hmm.
the instructor said to dance with your shadow. And so I was
Woo,
dancing, and then she said, now let your shadow dance you. And I was like, whoa, that's trippy because my moves
whoa,
changed. My moves
whoa.
changed. Right.
Shadow dance
Damn,
you. Damn, I
that's a
don't
Right.
know if
video.
I don't want Shadow to lead, bro.
I know.
No.
It was so cool. It was so cool. And then she was like, so like, who is that? What is your shadow? Who are you dancing with? And I was dancing with the needy part of myself. And I was like, I see you. Like what you've needed more than anything is me. You've needed me. And I keep running around trying to take care of everybody else. Oh my God, like tears. And I was like, all you've ever needed was me.
When
Right.
did
And so
this
like
happen, Corey? There
Wow.
was a one specific event when you were dancing. This is recent. You're saying?
Yeah, well, it expressed itself in this moment, right? Like it's
Oh,
expressed itself differently in other
oh.
times, but this one was just like it was such a clear visual for you guys that it felt, and it was so recent. But it was really this like, oh my God, there's that needy part of me, and I just was loving her, and I was like, oh, like she was so raw and young, and I was just like, I got you, babe, I got you. And in that moment, I felt so validated and so full, and it was me. And that doesn't mean that I don't go into a relationship and have needs. It just means I'm not coming starving. And so
Mm.
I show up differently. When you're starving, I don't know about you, but sometimes I forget to eat. When I'm starving, I grab junk food and I'm ravenous. Right? But
Right. So if
right?
you're
But
ravenous, you're
you
not gonna
like that
grab the
one,
health.
baby. You like that one.
You're not gonna grab the healthy food, guys. Right? Like if you're
Not when
ravenous,
you're starving.
are you going for the
Or
freaking
the unhealthy people.
Big Mac, or just like a chicken and
Right.
rice? Which you going for, bro? Like you're ravenous. Are you going for McDonald's Big Mac kind of thing, or are you doing chicken and rice? Which one?
Yeah, it's what's easy, right? What's within reach, and it's always the processed stuff. What's
Wendy's.
easy, what's what's in reach, and it's heavily processed and it's bad for you.
Damn, bro, these metaphors and Kori, I had no idea. I talked to Kori 1 hour. We exchanged some messages. I said, dude, this is what I love about Vibe Sesh. We see the real human, dude.
Yeah, the wisdom too.
Yeah.
I love
What do
that
you think of all this?
starvation. Wow. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like. Cause you have
Have you
to.
eaten some junk food lately?
Cisco eats a lot of junk food. Go ahead, Cisco.
But no, I guess to your example, I'm just seeing it as you can show up with a full stomach and you're not going to be swayed by the options in front of you because when you're starving, you're desperate for food. So that was I like the analogy that you just put together for that. Yeah. I guess, so then what's the practice of feeling full?
Yes, that's a great question. Like, how do we get there? Because even for me, Kori, like now, like it's a lot of pressure to make better and better videos. And if I don't get the engagement, I feel like, oh man, I get depressed. Like literally, I get sad. I mean, I'm not just admitting to everybody. Like I get sad
Yeah.
for 3. I'm like, oh man, what's wrong with me? I don't got it anymore. What's going on? Is that people
I
pleasing or what is that?
so I took a 2-year break from social media because I realized I wasn't people pleasing, I was algorithm pleasing. Right. And so all of us, it was the same mechanism. It's just now it's the
It's applies to everything. Oh my
That's the
God.
dial turned up all the way.
Bro, hey Kori, you gotta make videos like this, algorithm pleasing, damn fire, bro.
yeah.
Dancing with shadows, you gotta talk about that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Oh my gosh, so many video ideas here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, you are describing that mechanism that it basically becomes like, because what made you you is that you were just being yourself and it didn't matter. That's how you got here. And it's so easy to forget because now you got to like keep it. Now I got to stay here. Now I got to keep it. So then it starts to edge into performance because now you think you got to keep it. But it's sort of like what got you here was never performance. Right. But performance is the land of the people pleaser. Like I'm fine. Everything's good. We can make it look all natural, but it's not like there's something, it feels different.
I have a question about the extremes. So imagine you're the extreme opposite of people pleasing. Is that okay? Or should you have a sprinkle of people,
Yeah. Okay. So
like, is there a balance?
yeah, I tell my clients a lot this. I'm like, okay, it is true that we are all responsible for our own happiness. That's true, right? It is also true that we impact each other. Right. And we need to hold both truths. So if I just run around and say I'm responsible for my happiness, then I can just be like, fuck you, deal with it. I'm responsible for my own happiness. But if I also understand that I impact the world around me, now I have to be a little bit more conscious and responsible in my pursuit of happiness. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so we do have an impact on the world around us. But if I go heavy on the impact on the world around me and I don't tend to my own container, my own happiness, then that's going to become its own dysfunction. So really, it's the understanding of both of these truths and how do you hold them inside of yourself?
Yeah. Right? Dialectic thinker, holding two paradoxes kind of thing.
Ooh,
Right?
I love me some paradox.
Yeah. Hey, Cisco, do you want to move on to? I want her to analyze your recent situation with that girl, the relationship
Oh,
stuff, because
Jesus. I'll
or
keep
we
it
can go.
surface level, I guess.
You want to
But
talk about it? Go, let's do it. Because
not really. But
let me just tell everybody, Kori, also you do work with couples, right? And you talk about people pleasing in relationships or toxic relation or whatever, right? So
Yes, sir.
you understand people pleasing in the context of relationships. So Cisco he's a people pleaser and he encountered a nice lady that you had a fling with in the past and she came back and tell us about that because you were like a mess during that. I couldn't help you, bro.
well,
I
I'm still
don't
kind
have
of
Corey's
recovering.
skill.
But
I don't have Corey.
You're giving it to me? Okay. Woo, all right.
Pass it on. Pass the hot potato.
Nah, I'll keep it very simple. I found a way
Okay.
to identify it, basically limerence, and to take what she said at face value, they don't have capacity to explore the connection, basically.
Great.
Long story
Wow,
short.
that is a very clear thing.
So, but like what you were saying earlier, I was kind of doing a lot to hopefully change their opinion.
Mm.
But people have free will, and I should want her free will to choose me. You got to choose who chooses you. So don't be choosing who's not choosing. But anyway, there was, time spent. So it was kind of like you thought, we're hanging out, like, come on. But then, stop. So, but then I learned the term limerence. Do you guys know limerence? Like kind of the obsessiveness over a person. So it's not love, because I wanted to explore a connection to get to know her. So I didn't really know much. So all I could do was imagine. And that.
Ooh, I bet you could have a good time with that.
He had a great time. He was sending me messages saying, "Oh my gosh, maybe I can marry this woman." And you had you did, bro.
No.
You were like, she could be the one. You said.
You're exaggerating, but more so like, am I ready with that mindset though? So potential candidate.
So
yeah, go for it.
Your brain. I'll let you off the hook a little bit here. So you're bringing something that comes up for a lot of people pleasers in the beginning of a relationship, and that is the difference between chemistry and capacity. And so a lot of people pleasers, we love that chemistry, right? Like that chemistry feels delicious. It feels yummy. We want more of it. It creates this attachment, right? And it feels so good, right? So that's what you're describing.
Because you were so starving. You were starving. You ravenous. So you're like, when the chemistry comes, it's tied. That's tied together too. You're like,
I had euphoric breadcrumbs. It was.
Yeah, well, it again, it's how you felt, right? It was that in those moments, I bet you felt full. I bet you didn't feel starving, right? But it was like, if I drink a lot of water, I feel full, but I don't have any nutrients, right? So it's really this idea of it's the difference between chemistry. It's the difference between chemistry and capacity. Capacity is the nutrients. Right? Like I want something that is going to fill me up, but I want something that's nutritious, that has nutrients in it. That's the capacity, right? And so you were, and this happens for a lot of people pleasers. Are you taking notes? What are you doing?
Just chemistry and capacity.
But that's so true. It's just the whole ravenous thing, bro. There's no
it's water versus it being like food with nutrition.
Yeah. So the chemistry feels so good, right? And who doesn't want to feel good? And we say we're chasing the feeling of feeling okay. We feel really great and okay in the chemistry. But then it's sort of like, but does this have capacity? And capacity is measured by how do we negotiate differences? How do we handle tension? How do we handle moments where somebody's feelings get hurt? That's what reveals capacity. And what I'm hearing her say to you is she doesn't have it right now in this moment to invest her capacity in something more, right? And so she is telling you, right? And so for you, it's sort of like, that's interesting. I still am pursuing and wanting something that has told me it doesn't have the capacity for me.
I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, I feel like I consciously am aware of that, but my nervous system is like constantly just putting it in the priority queue of like, let's think about this. I'm like, and literally to stop myself, I blocked her.
No way, you didn't tell me. You blocked her? Did you tell her I'm gonna block you?
Pop up. Why'd you block me? And then I actually got to send you screenshots of that. But
this is new info.
But that was where the capacity thing, and I was like,
Kori, but
what I want you to see, what I want you to see is that was okay with you. Right? Because this is what people pleasers do is we say, it's okay if you don't have the capacity. I think I have enough for both of us. Or it's okay if you don't have the capacity. I have the capacity to wait. I have the capacity to kind of wait and see. Right? So it's sort of like we make it okay and then we make up for the difference. But it's not really what we want. That's not the truth.
Yeah.
Hey, but Kori, so you think it was the right move in his situation that he blocked her?
Well, the blocking to me is because you didn't trust yourself. And so I think it was the right move because it was you taking care of you, right? Because the block wasn't about her. It was about him. He didn't trust himself to not stay open or pursue or communicate. So I think it was an act of self-care. Blocking isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's the thing that we need to do in order to take care of ourselves. And I think that's what he did. And I think it wasn't against her. It was really a protection for him.
Hey, but so how does he prevent something like this from impacting him as much as before? Can he just has to be aware, or he has to do some exercises, or what does he need to do?
Well, I think the first thing we got to talk about is the starving part, right? Like we got to get you to stop being so starving.
Okay.
That's the first part, because the person who's starving is going to be the one who is more enticed and attached to to chemistry.
Okay.
Right. So the first key is you got to be good with you. You got to meet your own needs. You got to know what you're worth. You got to be like, this is who I am. This is what I want for my life. And this is my boundary. Right. And so if this is my boundary and you don't have capacity, then it doesn't work with where I am. This is my boundary, so it doesn't work. But you've got to be so sure of that boundary and who you are. And so to me, you don't have that yet. And so I would be really careful about pursuing a relationship right now, because when you're by yourself, you could feel like, I'm not a people pleaser. I'm fine. I know this one really well, because the people pleasing gets triggered. The people pleasing gets triggered in relationship. Right. So by yourself, you can be like, I got it. I'm not people pleasing no more.
It's like reading about push-ups and then actually doing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even attachment style work. You can read all this shit until your body is giving you different signals from this. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, and that's just it. Like you just said it really beautifully. Get in your body. That's what's required, right? For you to go inside and feel what you feel and believe yourself. Believe what you discover. Believe the truths about yourself.
Hey, but you said maybe he should take some time and maybe not date for now. But what if? But there must be a girl who is into this kind of people pleasing thing. Like, what kind of girl would that be? Because there must exist.
I don't recommend that.
Well, that's a
There's a lot of
why? What kind of woman is that? Why not someone who understands his people pleasing and is like, I'm cool with that?
Well, again, it's
understands the people pleasing.
Yeah, he knows that he's a work in progress and he has some people pleasing issue. But I love that about Cisco, and I love you, and can't you have that?
I think because it's not about the other person. It's him. Can he trust himself? Can he trust himself that when something happens that he'll stay inside of himself, not in the relationship? Will he stay? Right? So this isn't about the other person at all. It's about him. Can he trust himself? Right?
And
so and I will tell you,
do that too. Like, can
what's
you
that?
sustainably be in your body for a long time? Because you can temporarily do that through people.
Yes.
But what you're saying is like you need something sustainable for decades, and that is sourced from you. Because people come and go.
You got to have roots, and they got to be in like your roots, not borrowed roots. Your roots.
But Kori, so how does Cisco work on finding his roots? You know what I'm saying? Me too. I want to know too, because I want to make it a practice and get some tips from you. Yeah. What can we do?
A little bit.
Huh?
Well, so I think. What'd you say? I missed that one.
No, I was saying poke at him a little bit.
I gotta give you some.
He's been in the hot seat. I always.
Yes. So let's kind of go back to the root of all of this then. Okay. Let's talk theoretically and leave you two alone for a minute.
Okay. Wow, she's awesome.
So a lot of people pleasers, the root of it is that there is it's hard to tell the line between you and me. That's blurred. I can't tell what's yours and what's mine. It kind of feels like it's all mine. So there isn't a real distinction, right? And so part of the work is to figure out, who am I? What's mine? Who am I? What's true for me? How do I feel? What's happening inside of me? Because people pleasers, the line is blurred, so we're very other focused. Come on, I'm going to jump you back in just for a second. How often are your thoughts about everyone else?
Yeah. I would say I'm thinking about, yeah. I'm
What? Tell
outside
me.
of myself a lot, but I think with the
Outside of
walking,
yourself a lot. Yeah.
my walking has allowed me to be with my thoughts and myself. So
Yes.
that's
No, but
what
what does that mean,
my long.
Cisco? The thoughts outside of yourself. What do you mean? You're thinking about your family, other people, not you?
Like the reason I'm starving is I haven't done any of that like the self-image work, the self, like having your principles, your values that you stand for, and like
Hmm.
like I mean, I don't know how else to word it, because
It's
people will adapt to other people's principles and values rather than me just projecting out, this is what I believe. And if that means I'm alone, I'm okay.
Mm,
right. So what we're talking about is definition, right? Like
mm,
a really clear definition of who are you? Who are
mm.
you? Like, who are you when no one else is in the room? And can you stay that person when someone walks in? Right. So who are
Mm,
you? Like if this is who I am right now and someone comes in, what I used to do all the time was I was immediately, what's going on with them? What's their mood? Right. Like, what do they need? Like I was, boom. It was like
Mhm.
I was transported to whoever just walked in the room.
Yeah.
Versus, I'm not saying I'm ignorant and ignoring the person. I'm just saying I'm here and I'm aware of the other person. Both things. Whereas before it
mm,
was just, phew, I was just over there, the whole thing.
Cisco, who are you?
I mean, well, the word that came to mind was I do feel like a chameleon.
Mm,
Like you
that's the
blend to
word
the
that
environment.
comes. That's the word that comes to your mind, bro.
I've
It's one
always
of my
kind of
it's one of the archetypes for a people pleaser is a
like,
chameleon.
even at school too, like
What?
even at school back in like high school at the lunch table, like I wouldn't just sit at one table. I would just sit at, I used to sell candy too, so that also had me going around, but like I would blend in and understand the nuances of people and fit in.
Mm,
But that was constant practice outside of myself. So uh, the kind of solitude hasn't really happened since graduating college 2023. But then still, I didn't have that work. So I haven't really been building the momentum of that. And it hasn't really been till this year. I've been kind of hit with like work stress, this limerence bullshit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going
mm,
on? But now it's making me see like the tree roots aren't that deep. I've been maybe growing out on the top, maybe for that example, but I need to build the roots so that it doesn't get top heavy and like fall over
Yes,
maybe.
mm,
that's right. That's right. Because being adaptable is actually really a skill. It's something that a lot of people don't have. But the problem is when you're adaptable and you have no center, then that's when you start to fall over, you start to merge. Right. And
mm,
so it's really like, so your adaptability isn't a problem. It actually is a superpower. It only
mm,
becomes a problem when you have no sense of yourself within that adaptability.
Yeah. I have no
mm.
reference, like an internal reference.
That's right. That's right.
So I've been cherry picking from what I've seen just throughout existing like my life. So
Sure.
yeah, that's been my struggle because I've been realizing during my walks, like everything I believe I've inherited. It's not
Mm.
by my own two hands.
Like
And I'm
what?
really struggling with that. Just,
Tell us more. What do you mean?
no, just any belief like I should do this, I should do that, like traditional path of life, or it's kind of macro and micro how you can take that. Like, uh,
Mm,
I guess one example that just popped in my head, like wanting a family, for example. Do you
Hmm.
truly want that, or is that because society tells you to have?
mm. You're at that point, bro? That's what you're
Or
thinking right
like
now.
you
Holy
should be in
shit.
your parents' lives because you should, or
Mm,
because I want to. I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's kind of the first to pop in my head, but um, you theoretically could be completely selfish and focused,
mm,
and uh, if I your authentic self. But again, you said you have to be conscious of the impact or like the influence you are having, because your words and actions will always land in a certain way. And I guess you just don't want negative ripple effects or plant bad seeds
Sure.
by being an
And we only
asshole.
have
Or,
we only have so much control over that, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
truth. It's like
Mm.
I could say something really kind and great, but you could misinterpret it and have nothing to do with whether I said it clearly or not. It was your
Mhm.
own projection onto it. So I can't be responsible for that. Right? I can only be responsible for that what comes out of me. Do I feel like it was clean, clear? Did I feel like it was kind, right? So the responsibility is like I can do this, and this is the only way I can really like have any control over my impact is I can do it from that place. But then what happens with it, I mean, certainly your chances are higher if you have, if you're kind, clean, and have a good, whoa, I almost fell over. You're kind, clean, and had a good, have a good, like that you feel good with what you just shared, that the chances are higher that your impact would be more positive, right? But in the end, it's sort of like we can be open to feedback about the impact we have. And we can take that feedback and be like, okay, how much of this am I responsible for? And how much of it is theirs? And for a
Mhm.
people pleaser, we just take it all. We're just
Mhm.
responsible for all of it, right? So
Mhm.
there's a little bit more discernment that's required that we don't just take it all. But
Mm.
it helps if we have a sense of who we are. I'm still in this journey. I have not arrived, so
Mm.
I can't tell you where like to arrive at. I am in it, but it is so exciting when all of a sudden I have this moment of recognition where like I show up differently in a situation and I'm like, damn, I am really kind and loving and compassionate. Like that is so badass. Like
Damn,
like
damn,
we're
you
we're
wow.
yeah, like where it's not performative. Like I got to experience the non-performing version of myself that was just true for me in that moment, and it felt so different, right? And so that is when I'm like, I get to taste, I get to experience, and I'm like, yes, more of that. I want more of that.
Oh, Cisco, tell her about the Vibe Sesh, the impact that's had on you, given your people pleasing. You've
Mm.
discovered more about yourself. Go ahead with Vibe
Well,
Sesh.
all I can say is I've been a hermit introvert for all my life. Outside of school, where school puts you with people, outside of that, hermit.
Yeah,
And we actually met on X, Twitter, in a Bitcoiner community. And for a whole year, we actually did a audio only Vibe Sessions, and up to like 10 people could speak and stuff. And um, he just created a space of non-judgment, good faith conversation. He offered presence. He's here to listen to, and he's curious. So he asked
yeah,
me questions, and he allowed me to ask questions, and more people found the space and were able to do the same. And now you're facilitating conversation amongst. So I really appreciate him giving me the opportunity, because I've co-hosted with him for a year on that, and then now this is like half a year for Instagram.
yeah,
Uh, it's been really helpful, just in terms of the socialization that I've been missing out on, and trusting my intuition,
Mm.
like in the moment, the improv of the moment, because none of this is planned, and having confidence that the questions I have to ask are good. I can, because all I want to do is I'm here to offer my presence, listen, and my curiosity is always loading. And when I'm ready, I'll ask. When I'm ready, I'll make
yeah.
a joke. When I'm ready, I'll, you know. So it's been a practice of trusting myself that I'm a vibe samurai, and I will always say the right thing and at the right
Bro, but
time.
you don't feel like you're a chameleon, right? In Vibe Sesh.
I kind of am, though, like
Oh,
adjusting
really?
to the guest or whatever, um,
Well,
but I
I'm
think I
gonna push
am
on
more
Oh, I
this.
didn't.
authentic.
I'm
Go
going to
ahead,
push
Kori.
on this just a little bit with you because my sense is that yes, you probably are a chameleon, but I believe that probably some of the qualities that you've sort of like played with are true for you. In other words, they reflected something to you that
Mm-hmm.
felt real for you. In other words, you didn't really completely make it up. There was something in
Mm.
it that felt like,
Mm.
oh, that's a part of me. Oh, that's another part of me, right? Like, in other words, maybe it's not all of you, but maybe it's a part of you. I mean, I'm somebody who I didn't have like my clique in high school either. I just
Mm.
bebopped around a bunch of cliques. And it
Mm.
was because I'm not one thing. I'm way more
Mm.
complicated than that. So
Wait, wait,
I
wait.
never fit into a clique. So I did better in going to different ones because each one brought out a different part of me. And so each part of me got to express something differently in those
Yeah.
groups.
What was your favorite clique?
Oh, you know what? So it was interesting because so I went to a school that was very racially mixed. And when I was in high school, the Rodney King riots had happened. And
Wow.
at that time, I was kind of one of the white girls in a black group of kids. And we went through the riots together. Like we weren't in the riots, but we were experiencing it, watching it on TV, confused, baffled. But you know what? I felt the most seen, accepted, celebrated in that group than I did in any other groups.
Cisco, you know Rodney King?
Someone got beat by police, or I don't know.
Tell
Yeah.
her. Tell him, Cisco. Tell Cisco.
Rodney King got beat to death by a police officer, and the cops got off. They didn't get convicted. So there were riots in this. It's sort of, it's unfortunately it's the same freaking story happening now, but that was back in like 90. I think like 92 or something, 91 or 92. So it was a long. I'm old. Oh yeah, you're old. We're both old. That's right. He's the young one.
She's younger. You're the young one. What are you
I'm
talking about?
50.
You look younger than me.
Cisco, how old are you?
25. 2001.
See, he's half our age, dude.
He's half our age, man. A little baby there. Hey, Kori, but like, what do you mean you felt the most seen in this kind of racially diverse group? You mean everybody was just so mad?
Were you people pleasing in that clique?
Oh.
At that age, I can't. I mean, there was probably some degree of it for sure. I can't be sure because I didn't have the consciousness back then. But I can say that there was just a togetherness and a there for each other that I just didn't experience in some of the other groups. The other groups, there was more competition. There was more. I don't know. This was just everybody saw each other and laughed with each other and held each other. It was so freaking cool.
Oh my God. Did you ever experience something like that after that in your life?
Not in a group setting within like one-on-one with people, but not in a group like that for sure. Yeah, not in a group, but for sure one-on-one. I have definitely had those experiences. Hey, I am not going to people please you guys, and I am sweating my ass off right now. I'm going to go turn some fans on. Give me a second.
Oh my God, she has a sweaty ass, guys. We're talking about, bro. What do you think of our lovely guests so far? What do you think? Crazy, huh?
It's good because it's been a while since I read the Models book by Mark Manson, which that's like the premise of the entire book: neediness versus non-neediness. And people pleasing will have you acting in certain ways to elicit a certain response. If you have all that internal validation and you're vulnerable as your authentic self, you say, I'm okay if you choose me or not. Like, if you leave right now or not, I'm okay. And I will still say...
Hey, Cisco, ask Kori about Models, if she knows Mark Manson and all that. And
I love Mark Manson.
I don't know if you've read that book, Models.
No, I didn't read Models. I read his subtle art of not giving a fuck, but I didn't read Models. Is it a good one?
Yeah, it's literally all about people pleasing, and not people pleasing.
Okay, I'll have to check it out. I love his other stuff.
Right. And I just realized you're right. Models is about people pleasing. I thought it was a dating book because it's called Models.
Well,
it's a little...
it is. It is for men to get women, but that's the reason you aren't getting them. It's because you're people pleasing towards them. And you really want this one to choose you when you should be indifferent as you go through life. And then you should find the people choosing your authentic self because you don't have to perform ever. Because he's like, all the pickup game and tricks, they run out. You run out of shortcuts. And so he's like, if you're just your authentic self from the get-go, you either are repelling people or attracting them.
Okay, so this I'm so glad you brought in the word authenticity, because that's the word that we haven't been saying yet. We've been talking around it, but we haven't said it directly. Yeah, so authenticity for a lot of people who are people pleasers feels threatening. Like, to be our authentic self, it feels really scary and vulnerable and threatening. So
Damn.
that's why so it's not as easy as saying just be authentic. There's something blocking us from being authentic, and it's because we're so scared that if we're authentic, you're going to leave, you're not going to show up, I'm going to be alone. Like, so authenticity feels scary. And that's why part of the healing is to get to know yourself again and really own who you are, because that's where authenticity comes from. It comes from those roots we were talking about, right? That is authenticity. What do I know about myself? Who am I when no one else is in the room? Can I stay that way when someone walks in the room, right? That's authenticity.
Yeah, because the gift of truth is being vulnerable as your authentic self. Like, you're sticking out your neck like, hey, this is how I am and how I behave. And they can be like, yeah, go for it, or no. But you just keep hammering that home. And like, the book just really goes in depth on it. It is so simple. He's not even telling you how you should act. It's like, you have to create
It's
your
a way.
values.
Exactly. It's a
He
way of
doesn't
being.
tell you,
It's a way of being,
you know,
right?
if you want a rotation of girls or if you just want to marry, that's up to you. But you have to be authentic in that.
Well, it sounds like what he was telling people was what not to do anymore. It was less about what to do and like what to stop doing, because which again, that is authenticity, is stop trying to do all these tricks and just be yourself. But again, for someone who's got people pleasing tendencies, that it's not that scary. You say just stick your neck out. That feels literally terrifying. I'm starting a book right now, so I'm going to tell you this story, because this is the opening chapter of my. This is the opening chapter of my book. Yeah.
Exclusive Vibe Sesh 24. Let's go.
So I was dating a guy from South Africa, and a lot of this isn't true for all South African men, but there is a machismo-ness to it. I don't want the South African men jumping on me. There can be quite a machismo energy. And so anyway, so I was dating this guy, and I was in South Africa with him down in Cape Town. And he was an amateur race car driver. He loved to drive fast, and like recklessly fast, not good. And I knew that about him. And we were about to go to the southern tip of South Africa, and the road is right along the water, the coast, right along the ocean, like barely guardrails. It's right there. And I've been on the road with him before. It was terrifying. So the night before we were going to go down there, I had a nightmare that he was driving really fast on this road, and we went flying off the road, and we went through the guardrails, and we were flying in, and we were going to hit the ocean. We would die, right? And so literally, like, I just remember there was a moment in the air of just complete acceptance and surrender, like, okay, this is what's happening. And then everything went flat. Okay.
Damn.
So now this is where the story really gets going, because the next morning we're taking that drive, and I am scared, right? Because I'm scared of his driving. His driving is rightfully reckless. Did I say anything? No. Instead, because I was afraid he would ridicule me for being so scared. I was afraid that he said I would be too sensitive. I was afraid, right, like that he would make fun of me. Like, there was a whole bunch of reasons why I didn't speak up. So I literally got in that car fully feeling like I absolutely could die. And I could die because I wasn't going to say anything. So it's sort of like, oh my God, I would rather die than face his reaction to me saying, I'm scared, I don't want to go on this road with you driving like that.
That's powerful.
Right? Like, that's how intense it is, right? This isn't like the authenticity piece. It's like, it's deep. Like, I'd rather die than be honest and tell you, like, I'm scared, could you not drive like that? That's crazy.
Damn, that's a great opening of the book. Guys, we're selling these books. Send me the link. We're going to sell a lot of books. Sometimes, remember that author that came on? We sold a lot of books for that guy. We make an impact. So whenever your book is ready, we're going to, wow.
I'll come back on. Yeah, sweet.
My God.
Did you ever end up telling him?
Yes.
No.
Why? He should know. He sounds like a jerk driving like a maniac.
Yeah, it was the most tumultuous relationship I had ever been in, most toxic I'd ever been in. No, so I ended the relationship. Like, I eventually realized that I was I eventually left it because I saw who he was and that I deserved more. So I did eventually get there. But this is just all on my journey, right? This is me just finding my way there. So I did eventually leave the relationship because I knew.
But if you were people pleasing, then like one of the problems I see with people pleasing is they don't have the hard conversations. So did you have the hard conversations with him at some point?
Uh, I wouldn't say I had the hard conversations. I had the hard conversation of saying I'm out.
But I'm
So
saying he
he
could have changed if you said, "Look, when I get in the car,
Oh,
I
okay,
just
okay. I see
care."
what you're. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I'll see what you're saying. Yes, I attempted to have hard conversations with him. No, he did not have the capacity to have those hard conversations. So I stopped having them because
Back
he
to
didn't have the
capacity.
capacity. There we go. So I
Lacking
learned I can't
capacity.
have those conversations with him, and so I
Mm,
stopped. But I
mm,
didn't. I didn't say he can't handle hard conversations. I should leave this relationship. I stayed in the relationship and tried to
mm.
figure out how to exist without being able to have the hard conversations.
Ooh.
So I became overly responsible. I became, trying to be pleasing. I tried to take the relational space because he couldn't show
Mm,
up for it. I was like, don't worry, I got the whole thing. And eventually I realized that that was not okay. And I let it go.
mm.
Wow.
Amazing, huh?
How would you do the sniff test for a new guy that is
Mm.
in a non-needy,
For the
you know?
women, yeah. Tell us
Yeah. Well,
how are you gonna avoid this
What would you do
yeah.
crazy
different now, I guess?
freaking guy who's putting us at
Well,
risk driving on the freaking coast?
the bit right. The biggest thing is to slow down.
Mm,
You got to slow it down because
mm.
what happens with chemistry, especially for a people pleaser, is we are hot and we are ready for it, and so we
Damn.
zoom. We want to go fast, right? And so we get attached really fast, simply based on chemistry,
Woo,
not based on capacity. So we get attached quickly and fast.
Yeah.
woo. Damn, you gotta be careful, people
Waiting
pleasers.
for the text.
So
Why?
that's it. You got to
Why did you text
see.
me back fast, you motherfucker?
Yeah. So you gotta
Uh,
slow it down. So like right there, what you just described, that was you leaving yourself. You sent the text and then you didn't go back to your life. You stayed with the
Mm,
text and with her. And is she responding? When is she going to respond? Is it me when she responds? All your attention was over there. So you didn't just send the text and leave. You
mm-hmm.
sent the text and then you were over there. And you were going to, and the trick is you probably stayed over there until she replied.
yeah, you did,
Yeah,
Cisco.
man.
She got you, bro.
Now that was done to myself. She didn't do shit, to be honest.
No, I'm
Like,
Yeah,
saying
no.
Corey
all of this
called
is
you out.
me. Like, this is my narrative,
Yeah, it
Like,
was all inside of you. Yeah.
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 She was like, okay,
But
good chemistry. I don't have capacity. I'm like,
But
good chemistry. Do you have capacity yet? Like kind of.
well, do
Like
you
the
see what you
constant
just
bidding
did?
and
Hold on.
chasing and.
I gotta call you out on that. She
call
said
him out. This is raw truths right here. Vibe Sesh. Go
you
ahead.
said you said she said it. We got the chemistry. We don't have the capacity. And then you immediately said we have the chemistry, but not the capacity yet.
You
Oh,
did say that, yeah, bro. You did say yet, bro.
Yet
Oh,
the
yeah. So
yet
so
the
so
yet
that's
is what
the
got you.
limerence. I would say that's like the limerence aspect of it, where I don't know, the tab didn't close or something. Like
the
it's
tab
just
didn't
running in the
close. Love
background
that.
all the time. Like I'm
She
like,
Oh,
told
how the fuck?
you.
I can't hit the X button. I can't
Yeah,
close the tab. I don't know what's going on.
yeah.
how
She
did you
told
close it
you the
down?
complete sentence, and you said you added the yet. That was your hope, right? Like you threw hope into her at the end of her sentence that she didn't tell you to have, but you
Mm,
wanted it.
yes,
Mm.
yes.
But
So I'm
but
like, why the fuck
mm.
am I projecting this at all times?
but
Because at face value, I got the information I needed. So I
mm.
consciously know. But again, I feel like it's like my nervous system is just yet,
Mm.
like hope things could
Yeah,
change. And so that's why like I had to block too, because you're just
Mm.
checking and like I'm like, bro,
Mm.
yeah,
I couldn't even trust myself. I'm like, and
yeah.
then she
That
ended
Mm.
up
was that
texting
was
like,
you not
why did you
trusting you.
block? And I was like,
Mm.
dude, I'm distracted. I'm just
Mm.
Yeah,
completely. So I literally need to go within because I'm like,
Mm.
this is bad. Like for the next
But
relationship, I
mm.
can't be doing that.
But Corey, do you think like that girl sensed, because women have, I feel like, have better intuition? Like did she sense his neediness? And so
very.
maybe she would have been open to having a relate, but then he got needy, and you're like, is that a thing? Then when the woman senses that, you're like, I don't think he's ready on some level. Is that
Well, yeah,
happening? You think? Mm-hmm.
I sense that is because again, neediness needs to go fast, right? Neediness. How do you eat when you're starving? You
Mm.
shove the food in,
Damn, the
right?
starving
So
analogy,
Yeah.
bro.
yeah, so
Oh my god.
neediness needs to go fast, and so
Yeah.
really, you're sort of wanting to do that. You've got like it's sort of like that would become pressure because the way that capacity is revealed is over time. Right, capacity
Mm.
is revealed through time. How does this person show up? I don't know. I have to see. How did they show up in this situation? How did they show up in that situation? How did they? I brought some hard feelings to them. How did they show up? I wanted pizza. They didn't want pizza. How did we handle that? Right? It's sort of like that's where the capacity. Someone wants pineapple pizza. Someone
Hey,
else
Corey,
doesn't want
Corey,
pineapple pizza, right? Like, how do you handle that?
Corey, you gotta make videos like this, man. I'm serious. There's so many fucking video ideas here. You know what I mean? Like, just say exactly like that.
Wow. Yeah.
You gotta figure it out. All the capacities in these different
No,
situations, man.
like the rushing, like
The rushing, the starving,
allowing
the
things
just.
to breathe and have space.
Mm.
You know, I didn't do that. I was kind of compressing the timeline
Mm.
very quickly. But yeah, I just had a lot of big feelings that really drove my actions, you know, so it was a bit unconscious and then led to the results it led to. And now you're just seeing all the puzzle pieces on the floor and you're like, oh, and then now I'm like, oh shit, okay. But even conversations like this, it's yeah, you need to
You're
sort
changing lives, Corey.
the
Corey's
fullness. Yeah.
changing lives,
Well,
baby. I think we got through to you. Finally, we got through to you, bro. Now you
well,
understand
what I'm
yourself.
hoping is you're not beating yourself up about it
Mm.
because there's
No.
no need for that. And I don't see you doing that. I don't see you doing that. I see you just like, oh, like you
I
said,
Mm.
think it
putting
needed
puzzle
to
pieces
happen for me to
together.
understand it.
There you go. There you go. It's like there is no
Mm.
point in beating yourself up. It's really just like, oh, that's what I did.
If anything, I
Oh,
should
that
thank
makes
her.
sense.
If anything, you should thank her, you said, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you for
Yeah.
triggering all of this so that I can
Yeah.
work on it.
Can we give her a
Yeah.
shout out on the Vibe Sesh? What's her
Oh,
name?
hell.
Dude, he blocked her for a reason.
You blocked
Yo,
Blocked
Perky,
her.
her.
Bro. Oh my God.
a lot of respect and love. I'm never about like talking down or anything, but yeah, don't want to give her that shout out, to be honest.
So
Hey,
you had asked me a question. Let's go back to it because you
okay.
said, how can we avoid this? Right. In like when you're meeting someone. So I said, the
Yes.
first thing I said was slow down, right? Slow way down, stay in your own life and just take
Mm.
little, right? Stay in your own life and just visit the other person, right? Like,
Mm.
I don't know about you, but I was like moving in like a month, right? Just already up in their business. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yeah.
No, I don't know what you're
right?
talking about.
So
You moved in after a month?
no. I mean, in my brain, right? Like
Oh,
in
in
my
your
brain,
brain.
like
Oh,
it
in
was
your brain.
like,
Okay. I
right?
thought
Like I was
Or wanting
already
to
like I
hang
left
out all
my
the
life.
time and just
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Just leaving your life, right? And so it's like you got to stay in your life. So you have to create a life worth staying in. You have to create a life that you love, that you, right? Like that's the place to exist and just keep building that and keep building that. Right. And then if you meet somebody, then it's sort of like, oh, you're nice to visit. And then I go back to the life that I love. Oh, you're nice to visit, back to, and like, right. And you just keep solidifying this so that then you check, is this person an additive to my life? Are they adding to my life? And I only know that if over time I see, boy, you know what? I didn't like how they handled that situation. And you tell them, like, oh, I didn't like the way you talked to me in that moment. Do they get defensive? Do they shut you down? Do they gaslight you? Or do they say, oh, dude, I didn't realize. I'm sorry. Like, thanks for telling me. Right? Like those moments of tension are needed in order to see, do they have the capacity to talk to me through tension?
Wow. But Corey, you were like all cognizant of this when you go into a relationship. You're like,
Oh,
okay, here's the test. Let's see how this person handles this test.
well,
Like you're probably
I
doing
guess
the
you got to be
planning. Uh-huh.
you got to be careful. You don't want to test people. Testing people is not. It's less about testing them And it's more about staying in your body and observing, being an observation. So what's happening when you're dating is that you should be taking in information about the other person. Notice who are they? How are, right? I'm just taking in
Yeah.
information.
Right.
So, oh, that was how they talked to the waiter. That was information for me. Right? Like, oh, how they showed up in that situation. That was good
Right. Okay.
information for me.
Just
And
like,
then
just be aware.
yeah, and then I notice, how do I feel when I see them behave that way? How is that for me? What was that experience, right? Like, so it's sort of like it's always filtered through this solid place. And notice, like, does that work for me or it doesn't work for me? So it's less, I don't like testing because it's like there's a right answer. I don't know that there's a right answer.
Right.
I think it's just like, let me sense and feel into this.
So good.
Bruno, you struggle with any of this shit? Come on, man. I can't be the only one.
I don't know. I'm having trouble with this algorithm pleasing thing, though.
I was going to tell you. Let's talk about that. Let's do it.
I think I got it. I just got to be comfortable. You know what it is? What I've learned from this is I just got to be happy. I'm really enjoying making content. And, like, I mean, of course I should care. It's relational, right? Like, I'm doing this for but my worth shouldn't be based on whether I get engagement or not, right? So I'm just working through that, right? Like, even just talking about it. Why do I care so much, right? But I, in a way, like, I feel like I want to care because it drives me to make a better and better and better video, which I want to do, right? Is that not bad? Like, is that bad to want that, to give the best video? You know what I mean? And then if I don't, man, it is hard.
Help me understand something. Like, my sense of, because based on what you've told me and what you've shared about like your introversion and all of that stuff, my sense is that one of the things that Vibe Samurai has given you is a sense of connection.
Yes.
Right? Like, you are really feeling more connected now than ever. And you get to feel connected from sharing yourself, sharing your insides on the outside. Like, that connection is really, and so I'm curious, when you start to slip into the performance side, I kind of feel like I'm wondering, like, are you now chasing the connection? Because the connection is here, like you are, and it comes from your connection to yourself.
You know what it is? That's a great question. I think it's more like I don't want to disappoint. Like, because I feel like I made a great video, and the next one, if it's lame, like, what are you doing? You lost it. It's over now. But there's some maybe ego there too, because I want to keep doing well. Like, there's a lot of things going on, actually. It's it's just been so interesting because it revealed, right? Like, I'm like revealing
That's it.
myself.
You didn't know. Yeah. You did. You've known the Vibe Samurai who's sharing and now and building something. You've known him. You haven't known the Vibe Samurai who's got something, right? Like, you created something. Like, who's that Vibe Samurai? Is he the same guy who is the building one, or is he somebody different now? Are you evolving into something? I don't. Like, I'm curious about that for you, because you're, like, when I was first looking to get clients, like, I said yes to everybody. But at some point I had to start being discerning because I didn't have the time. So I had to be different in my business model, because I wasn't just trying to get all the business now. Right. And so there's a shift that has to happen at some point where you say, okay, what am I doing now? Right. And so, like, you've grown a whole community here. Right. And let's talk about it, because you mentioned this and you sent me a message. Yeah, because now you have a whole community you could disappoint. Right. And we talked about, like, I went through that. Right.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that thing. I'm wondering, because we talked many months ago, this was a very emotional thing for you. So tell us, keep our audience, we got a lot of people in the room. So tell us that story, set it up, because you're a people pleaser. And then you went through, let's talk through your journey and you started a yoga studio, because to me, that was like the biggest, I wrote even down here, I said that was like the biggest, it was like the biggest example of people pleasing, right? Because you were trying to put,
I will say it was a very visible, very, very visible. Okay, and that's why this story matters to you too, right? Because for you, the visibility is a big part of it.
You're
right?
right.
So
It connects
yeah.
to your story. Okay, let's tell the story though.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go.
So I was a yoga teacher at a yoga studio, and I had quite a following. My classes did really well there, and I was there for probably about 10 or 11 years. So it was a long time. I had a long stint, and then they shared some news that they were closing the studio. And at that time, I had a daughter who was 3, and I had a son who was he was probably like 4 or 5 months old at the time. And my first thought was like, oh, sweet, I'll go spend more time with them, right? But then I started to like see how, like, I was okay with the studio closing. I had a whole life to go tend to. But then I started noticing all the students were like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Where are we gonna go? Right. And all of a sudden the rescuer in me showed up, and I was like, I'll do it. Right. And so I was like, I'll open this studio. And I didn't have the finances. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was like, I'm going to figure this out because that's me. I can figure this out. So some of the students invested some money, not a ton, but enough that it was significant. And together we built the studio. Right. But I was a little too attached to the location. And so the location took all of the money. Like we actually did really well, but the rent was astronomical. I was just too attached to staying in the same place. So the studio closed and I went into hiding. I had so much shame and so much guilt that I did not keep this community together, that things fell apart, that people lost money, right? Like I felt like like it was so personal, and disappointment was my hard one. That was, my mom controlled me with disappointment. Disappointment's a big one for people pleasers. Like some of us will do anything not to disappoint people. Yeah.
Your dad does that? Wow. Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So that
They don't even have to hit you. They just have to be disappointed.
it's just a look. It's just a look.
I didn't know your dad did that though, Cisco. So much is
I feel like
coming
I'll
up.
use it if I'm a father, you know? I don't even have to hit you. I'm just like, dude, no. You're like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything inside just breaks. Yeah. So I mean, I went into hiding. Like I shrunk really deep. I mean, my family, we moved out of state and everything, and I just like not because of that, but it just was. It was sort of, I was relieved to move because I felt so like walking in the community, just like not wanting to run into anybody, right? And so we moved back to California a couple of years ago, and I've just started this period of time where I'm starting to let myself be visible again. And it's been scary because my last stage, because that disappointment didn't happen in a room, it happened on a stage, right, with the whole community. And so the level of exposure that I felt in that disappointment really, really rocked me hard. And
Oh
so
my God.
so just,
Wow.
when you build a community and you feel somehow responsible for that community, it's tough if you've got that people pleasing in you. But it's your community's been built off your authenticity, and so it's really tricky to make sure you don't slip into performing for the same people that came to you because you're not a performer.
Whew. But let's recognize Kori right now, because when I talked to her several months ago, this was super emotional for her. And I'm so proud of Kori. Kori, I'm so proud of you. Oh my
Thank
God.
you.
You owned this story and you just told it. You stayed strong. And wow, Kori, how did you get here? Like, how did you get to this point? Because you were emotional just a few months ago.
For
And then we
sure.
talked, and, like, you said you put it
Yeah.
in the drawer, this issue. You didn't even want to really face it, right? Like
Yeah.
in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. But
Yeah.
how did you get to this point now? Yeah.
Well, I'm going to do a little advertising and say that
All
I had
right.
a breakthrough session with you,
Oh,
right?
okay. Okay. I thought you
I
were.
had a breakthrough.
Okay.
And so after the breakthrough session, I had about 2 sessions of just like gut wrenching crying, where I just really allowed the grief and the feelings. Like I really just let them come up and out. And
Feelings.
right. Yeah. And so there was just a letting go in that, you know? And I wrote myself a letter that was like, it's okay. Everything, you know, we're fine. That was okay. That was an experience that happened. It's not, doesn't define you. You don't have to keep hiding, you know? And so, you know, for the last year, I started really slowly, and I first went to Toastmasters. You know, it's that public speaking club. It's like an international, yeah. So going to Toastmasters for me wasn't just about public speaking. It was also about me just being willing to be visible again after having hidden for so long, right? Like I had really shrunk small. So being able to stand in a room and take up space again really was important to me. And then I slowly started posting again online, and that was just about, again, I don't post for algorithms. I do this content. It's a library. You want to go check it out? Great. You don't want to comment? That's fine. But I'm not building a community like you are, right? So my intention on Instagram is different. So I can just, when I think of something, say it, leave it up there. You watch it, you don't watch it, doesn't matter. I'm practicing being visible and sharing what's inside of me to share. And so that's what I use this for now. And now
It's
I'm
like,
doing podcasts. I'm on here talking to you. So like now I'm just stepping into my visibility in a new way again, where I'm claiming it again. And I'm saying, here I am. Yeah,
oh
it
my
feels
God.
good. It
All
feels good.
right. Oh my God. Amazing. What do you think, Cisco, now that you heard the story? Crazy, right?
Yeah, I didn't know the backstory and how kind of recent it was, because I did not sense any of that energy. Like,
Right?
I thought you were like a
It's a
guru for
different
like
Corey.
years and years and years of this.
He
Oh
No.
called you
God,
a
no, no,
guru.
I'm in it.
She's in. Would you say you're still in the sacred in between? So you haven't popped in, or how do you look at that? Like, are
I'm
you?
definitely, I feel like I'm a little closer to not being in between as I was
Yeah,
before, but
me
you know,
too.
I've got some in
Me too.
betweenness in my life
Me
still, but yeah,
too.
I'm
Me
not,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm
Uh-huh.
not, I definitely don't feel like I'm in the middle of it anymore. Yeah. Yeah. And it's that root growing thing that we talked about,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just
Mm-hmm.
about like Cisco, I think you have some of this. Like I think you have a sense of this. It's really just about growing the roots of it, right? Where it's steady and where it's like it's solid. So it's not, I don't think it's not like you don't know yourself. I just don't know that you're really holding the steadiness of it.
Right. I think that's what it is too, bro. I think you know you. You just gotta hold that, you know?
Mm,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Not like just remember that because you
I
know.
guess there's a sense I'm not trusting what that could be, or
Yes.
That's it.
Mm.
That's it. That's it.
And
you
how
know.
does he develop that trust? He just keeps just at it, just keeps thinking about it, reflect
Yeah.
on it,
Well, I mean,
walking.
one of the experiences that I had recently was like I was in a relationship, and I was like, um, someone had been telling me who they were for a really long time, and I didn't believe them. And I kept trying to like talk myself out of how I was feeling, change them. Like I was trying, right? And I was laying in bed one night, and I was just like, oh my God, they've been telling me who they are all this time, and I haven't
Mm.
believed them. Right. But then I immediately said to myself, wait, I have I'm who I am, and I haven't believed myself. I've continued to try and adapt so I was sort of like, if it's true for them, then it's true for me too. And
Ooh.
so then in that moment, I just grieved and I cried, and I was just like, oh, I have not believed myself. Right? I've known what I needed and what mattered to me,
Mm.
but I wasn't trusting it, I wasn't believing it, and
Mm.
I wasn't then acting on it. And that's all of those things are how I kept leaving myself, kept leaving myself.
Damn. God damn.
Do all these revelations happen after
I
a
know
cry
exactly
session?
where these revelations cap. Hey,
I feel like I
like
need a good cry. I can't cry.
cry right
Yes,
now,
a
bro.
good
Cry. Let's all
cry is
cry. I'll
so
cry.
healing.
If you cry, I'll cry right now. If you cry.
I just
It's
can't.
okay. You can't do it.
The tear ducts are dry. I've like been freaking years.
It's
Wow.
hard. It can be really
No.
hard to, but what that tells me is that there's a way you've been protecting yourself from your own feelings. Right?
Mm,
You've been
yeah.
protecting yourself from really sitting in what you feel and what matters to you. And so,
Mm.
that's fine. It's sort of like it's where you've been so far. If you don't feel like you have the skills to sit and feel what you feel, then it makes sense that you wouldn't do it. So part of it is just developing the skills to let yourself just feel what you feel.
Mm.
Mm. I
Let
guess.
yourself feel what you feel, bro. Let yourself feel
What
what.
would you recommend? Like, is that like a meditation setting? Like, and then you try to go into, I don't know. I wouldn't even
Yeah,
know where
yeah,
to.
yeah. Where does he begin? Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a meditation. It can be really great. Just laying in bed in the morning before you get up, lay there and just notice, how am I feeling right now? And be really careful, because we tend to go to our head and want to tell stories really fast, right? Instead, what I'm encouraging you is stay in your body and notice. Like, you might say, "Wow, I'm feeling really tired," or "I'm feeling like keep it to sensation. My heart feels really heavy. My chest feels this, my throat feels this." Like, keep it into the sensations in your body and just let yourself feel the sensations in your
I love
body.
that. I love
Mm,
that, bro. Anywhere you are, you don't. It doesn't have to
yeah.
be in your walking
No,
meditation.
I'm definitely head high a lot, but I'm
That's
not.
right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, because a lot of people ask me, "What do I do when I get there? What do I do?" And I'm like, "You don't do anything. You literally just feel it. Just sit with it. Just be with it." Right? It's a way of just, let's say that there's like, let's say my son skins his knee, right? I don't just
Mhm.
leave him and like, "Oh, good luck with that," right? I go and sit with him. I don't make it's his knee still hurts. He still skinned his knee. It still hurts, but I'm sitting there rubbing his back. Don't you think that feels a heck of a lot better than just him sitting there in the pain without me rubbing his back? So when we show up for our feelings, it's like that. You're just showing up for them. And you're just saying, "It's okay to feel what I feel."
Oh, that's a great analogy.
And
It's
what's
like you're.
interesting
Whew.
is there's no language to that part. Like, it's totally sensation. So if you're experiencing language, that's not the right focus.
It just bring you're then
It's like,
jumping up here to explain it, to justify it, to tell the story of it. So if you just
mm,
stay here and you just, it's energy. So you're presencing the energy of whatever it is.
Oh yeah. Speaking of energy, Shina said, "Emotion equals energy in motion. A good cry can move the energy, bro."
Yes, it can,
Cisco.
my friend. Yes, it can. Hey, Gina.
Hello, Shina. Kori's doing great. Oh, she's mind blowing the Vibe Samurai on stage. Look at Cisco. He's like,
mm, mm.
All right, we got some people coming up. If you guys have questions, I'm going to invite you up. There's a couple of people. Let's see if we have questions for Kori from the audience. Anyone else have questions? Wow, we got a few more minutes left. Cisco, do you have anything? Or I wanted to ask her about other things other than people pleasing.
Yeah, let's go with what you got.
So Kori, like, tell me, like, you got a master's in spiritual psychology?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
What is that? Tell us more about spiritual
Yeah.
psychology. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. So I went to, I started off trying to be psych major, but then I didn't like psych because it was
Mm,
really focused on diagnosing people. And
mm,
so it really follows the diagnostic model, like the DSM and,
mm-hmm,
kind of like what's wrong. And
mm-hmm,
I didn't love that. And so I
mm,
switched and I went to sociology, because sociology was more of observation. It's sort of,
mm,
in sociology, you're just looking to understand what's happening. You're not trying to diagnose what's happening. You're just saying, cause and
mm-hmm,
effect, right? And so I really loved that about sociology. And it was really about like relativity and all of that. So after that, I went and I found spiritual psychology, which to me was this beautiful, like sort of, everything happens in service to you. So whatever went on in your life, this is the way I see it, is it's almost
mm.
like your hero's quest. And we all have that. No one gets out of childhood unscathed. We don't.
Yes. Mm-hmm,
No one does.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So we can stop feeling sorry for ourselves about that. And we can just say, "Okay, this is just my particular quest." Right? That whatever happened in mine, some people certainly have some harder ones than others, but that's your quest. And so like this is for you to evolve. So spiritual psychology just says like that you're evolving, and whatever is in
mm.
front of you is helping you evolve. That's what it's there for. It's in service to you. So it's less about diagnosing and more about how do you relate to what's happening and how do you evolve and grow from it. And that model of psychology was one I could really get behind.
Oh, I never even heard of spiritual psych. I minored in psychology, but I never even heard. But so, what kind of like? Who are you studying? Who are you reading? Who are the you know big
You know,
you know?
I will tell you that my brain does not work really strongly in that department.
Okay.
So I'm somebody who I'm not super great with names. I'm better with I'm better with
Me too.
big ideas.
I'm horrible with names. I can totally
Well, so
relate.
I will tell you, Carl Rogers was the one that we talked about a lot, and his was like a
Ah.
humanistic psychology.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah. I heard of
so,
him. I heard of him.
right,
Yeah.
right. So
Mm-hmm.
he was often quoted a lot and was used. There were
Mm-hmm.
many other names as well as
Mm-hmm.
traditional psychology, but
Yeah.
again, I always sort of like what was I always focused on what I was
Yeah.
learning and not
Yeah.
necessarily the names of what I was learning.
You know
So
what, Cisco? Do you remember Blake? You remember Blake, the
What's
PhD
it?
guy? The PhD guy?
The therapist to breath work?
Yeah,
Or
that guy. That guy. That guy. You
okay.
liked him. Remember, his type of psychology sounds very much like Corey's. Remember, he was like, I'm not into Freud, I'm not
mhm.
into like, although you, Corey, like he was like all into, yes, we got to take into your, oh, actually, he's like exactly very similar, actually, because he was saying exactly what you said, which was, we all have trauma, and his point is, don't dwell in that in the past. Like, okay, let's recognize, let's acknowledge the trauma, but we got to move forward. And he's saying like this entire therapy industry now, he was criticizing the like that it doesn't work and a lot of it
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
work
based
yet.
off childhood trauma at all times. Like that's the center. But the guy's like Adler, he was like, what? He's like,
Oh yeah,
no, you can
Adler.
acknowledge that, but evolve with today.
Well,
Like,
yeah, and part of it is
Hmm.
like the trauma, you created patterns from that trauma. And so the
Hmm.
patterns are really what we should be most interested in, right? It's sort of like that is what's still playing forward today. So yeah, it's sort of like I caught that in myself too, that I just kept like so much of the self-help industry and psychology was just how deep and how far can you dig into that trauma? And I
Hmm.
realized it was keeping me focused on it instead of actually evolving and growing from it. And so I definitely can hear his point. And it's again the intention to me, we are here to evolve, which means we are here
Hmm.
to keep growing, to keep discovering. So who I am today is going to be is not the same as who I'm going to be 5 days from now, 5 months from now, right? Like, I'm
Uh-huh.
evolving, and so can I be okay with the version I am today? Because 5, 10 days from now, I'm going to know more. I'm going to be, learn more. So
Hmm.
yeah, I do love that idea, and that there's no rush, right? Like just take
Hmm.
it as it comes. There's no rush. I think I was always in a hurry. Like, let me hurry up and grow so I could stop all this suffering. Let me hurry up and learn as much as I can so
Hmm.
I can stop.
Yeah.
And it's right, like this rush to get it all figured
Yeah.
out so I can
Hey, so
stop hurting.
I feel like the big theme tonight is just slow down. Just slow down. I
Slow
feel like that's a
down.
big thing with
yeah.
Corey. Slow down.
That's it.
Wow. Hey, let me ask you. There's a on the in the audience. How can you control your emotions when your rebellious teenage children talk to you disrespectfully? Sometimes what they say hurts and offends you so much that you feel overwhelmed and want to cry. What do you think, Corey? You're a
Dude,
mother.
they haven't, I will say they have a knack for that. They actually, because they know what can get, like, they know the thing to say that will really get you, right? So I would say it's not about controlling your emotions. I think it's really about taking a moment to step away and feel the hurt and take care of yourself.
Mm.
The truth is like
Hmm.
they're still young. I know they're teenagers and they're certainly wiser and their methods are way more sophisticated than when they were younger, but
Hmm.
but they are still children, right?
Mm.
And you're the parent. And so it's like, how can you rise up and be a stronger leader, right? And a leader isn't necessarily when someone talks subordinate, like not good to them, they're not going to run away and cry. They're not going to yell back at them. They're going to do something else. I can't tell you what it is because I don't know what her home needs, but it's in terms of just asking, like, how can I step into a greater leadership role in my family, which it's going to mean having to feel the thing that hurts and then go to that place and take care of it yourself. Your kids can't take care of it. You
Mm.
have to take care of it. And then how do you parent yourself, right? Like parent yourself first so that you don't need them to do that. Right. And as you rise up in that self-leadership thing, it's one of those things it'll change how they relate to you. But I
Mm.
can tell you that is such a hard thing that you're going, that is so painful because I'm imagining you give so much to them that when they do say something cutting, it's just like, God, you love them so much and you pour so much into them. To have them say that could just really cut deep. But take care of yourself and feel what you feel. in a space that allows you to step into bigger leadership.
All right. What an answer. Cisco, you want to ask our final question? I'm very curious what Kori's
No
going to
pressure,
answer.
dude. No
No,
pressure.
she doesn't know it. Let's see, though. But just really listen to Cisco's question, Kori, and really try to answer it. Yeah, let's
Okay,
see.
let
Go
me see
ahead.
what I got.
All right.
Yeah,
So
no performance.
this is the eternal loop question,
Okay.
where we want you to pick an experience or a moment, whatever is true to you, something that you can live for the rest of your life on repeat. And we're going to make the assumption you're going to be happy about it. You may not even realize you're stuck in this loop. And we want to ask, what would be your eternal loop experience or moment, or that you could just live forever and ever and ever through?
So I was on a run the other day, and I told myself as I was running that if Prince's Let's Go Crazy song came on, I would stop running and I would go in the middle of the baseball field I was running around and I would dance. And sure as shit, the song came on. I got called out. So I went out there, I had my headset on, and I danced my ass off. I had the best time with myself. And so for sure, whatever loop I'm in will be dancing, me dancing and just in the music, celebrating life, celebrating myself. Like dancing is by far like the biggest expression of like joy, my younger self, my older self. It's got all of it in there. So I'm going to be in a loop of dancing.
Wow. That's
Wow. Hey,
first
I'll
I'm
tell you.
not that
of its
great of a
kind.
dancer either. I just love to dance, right? Like it's not about the moves. It's not about the moves.
I'm sure you're dance well. Cisco, what do you think? What did you think? What did you think?
No,
That's
it's
great.
the first of its kind. Yeah.
First of
Because
its
it's
kind.
no, there's such unique answers, and there's no right or wrong
Of
answer.
course, yeah.
Absolutely to the person. Because people either go to a family. Someone actually said running and like being present with their heartbeat and their breath, and one guy, he was like, he does the ceremonial performance, and then just at the very end where he hugs his family, because I guess the ceremony is like either days or something, or it's many hours, and then at the end it's just such a beautiful moment for him. It's always nice to hear the unique feeling. So why? Well, I guess you did answer why dancing, because it's like the young and
There's just freedom in it for me. Like my dancing is self-expression. It's just freedom. There's not like a dance move. So for me, it's about freedom.
Yeah.
And if you ask me this question in 2 days, I probably have a different answer. But
Right.
when you
Right.
asked
Right.
me,
Yeah.
the first image I saw was me in that
Right, right.
field
You,
dancing.
you know what's so interesting? As Cisco said, like everybody's answer is so interesting, and it's such an
Yeah.
interesting question because everybody chooses these, and there's a lot of like big themes. Like it's never about money. It's never like, oh, my loop is just making money, right? It's
Yeah.
like the simplest moments, like what you just said, just dancing and just being free, or running and jogging, or hot summer days when I'm taking a nap and my grandmother's talking and people are just, you hear the chatter and the sun, like stuff like that, or walking around with my university friends while we're smelling chestnuts in October. Like it's vivid, it's specific, right? And
Yeah.
it's the most ordinary moments, and it really
Yeah.
highlights to you like what is important in this life, right? And what is your essence, right? In this case, it was like freedom and just being free and totally expressing yourself, right? Like, but what's interesting to also, when I talk to a lot of parents, like a lot of mothers talk about like very specific times with their children, and I'm sure you have those eternal loop
Oh,
moments too,
yes.
right? But it's interesting because that's what I found interesting. Like a lot of parents, you would think they would say something about the children, but it's things like that too, like dancing moments, jogging, or other things where they're more solitary and they can feel that peace and really feel themselves. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just a interesting question, and your answer
It
was
is.
beautiful.
Yeah. Thanks. I loved my time with you guys. It's been fun.
That was awesome. Cisco, any final words before we close up?
Man, I appreciate the wisdom today. I definitely needed to hear a lot of that. Chemistry and capacity. The brother's starving. You
The
gotta be
starving,
full.
the nutrient, the junk food, the ravenous.
Yeah,
Oh
you
my
could
God,
fill it
so
up
much
with
imagery.
water, but it's not nutritious. So
Mhm.
yeah, I really like, and that's what helps me a lot is those simple analogies. So I really like you
Love it.
like dumb it down, you know, so it's
Mm.
simple to understand. And the tree roots as well. You know, got to grow the
Yeah.
roots.
Yeah.
Kori, I'm proud of you.
Excellent.
You're amazing.
Thank
Amazing
you.
job. Thank you
It was
so
so
much.
great. I
All
knew
right.
I was going to enjoy my time with you, and I definitely did. So thank you so much. I appreciate
Hey,
it.
come back when you're ready to talk about your book, okay?
I will for sure. I will for
All
sure.
right,
Thanks,
guys. Have a good
guys.
night. See you next
All right.
time.
Take
Peace.
care, guys.